Everybody. Work.
Thank you. Hey. So, I've been talking about boobs for a really long time. It's been kind of like the center of my attention. In fact, last weekend I was up in Canada talking about boobs again. And I learned something about Canada. They are as worried about our presidential election as we are. And they said that when the election is over, they're going to build a wall and they're going to get America to pay for it. So I was up there and I had a really good time, but I want to share with you guys a little bit about some of the boob things in my life. So I don't get the attention about boobs. I really don't. In my family, the only way you get boobs in two ways. You either get fat or you get implants. And when I was young, I didn't do either one of those. So I was really skinny when I was young, like in my 20s. And I remember one time I went to this Halloween party and I put on this 50s dress and it was all built up in the top here. And when I put it on, I could see right through because there was nothing there. I had breasts the size of little tiny cherry tomatoes. And I looked straight down and I thought, oh man, this is not gonna work. So I took some socks and I stuffed them up under the boobs. And I had cleavage for the first time in my life. I was so impressed, I wanted to play with them myself. They were pretty awesome. So I go to this party, and this little tiny short guy walks right up to me, looks at me in the chest, and says, "Do you want to dance?" And I said over his head, "They're not real, And he goes, "Oh, do you want to dance?" He cracked me up, so I danced with him. It was a pretty fun thing. But, breasts are kind of a funny thing. They're really, I've been without them now for so long, who cares anymore, right? But growing up, as I aged a little bit, I got older and they got bigger. And see, when I was young, they were like little headlights. And as I aged, they kind of became more like fog lights. And seriously, I could see the ground any time of day or night. And then when I got breast cancer, they had to take half of one of them off. But fortunately, it was the top half, so then they pulled it up. And so now I got one of each. And it was kind of cool because I could see my husband straight on in the face, and I could see my feet at the same time. I called them my all-weather boobs, So, it was kind of fun, but then try to find a bra to fit. So you get a bra that's big enough to fit this side because it was nice and hefty, and now I'm back to the socks again, stuffing them in. And the socks, that just doesn't work real well. So, because when I look down, when I was young and I did the bra thing, I had cleavage for the first time in my life. But now it was kind of more like cleave. I just didn't have the full set. So I remember when I was talking to my husband one time, I said, honey, with all of this reconstruction and the radiation, the radiation made them even tighter. And so I thought, man, maybe they could put some of that on my butt, tighten that up a little bit. But it was kind of, he wouldn't, he just refused. But I don't understand that at all. But anyway, so I told my husband one time, I said, honey, the one thing that I could do is I could have breast reconstruction and actually reduce this side so that they both match. And he looked at me with these sad puppy dog eyes and he begged me, he says, please don't make the other side smaller. And I said, why? And he says, because it's kind of like being with two women. And he says, and I can tell you and you won't kill me. So I didn't. I ended up getting what they call a breast prosthetic. Anybody ever seen a breast prosthesis? It looks like a boneless, skinless chicken breast with a nipple. And you put it inside your bra and it makes everything seem very real. They feel real, they bounce, it's really pretty cool. So I got this breast prosthesis, but you have to take care of them. They come in a little box and they have a little shell and you put the prosthetic inside the shell. But when you're wearing them, they feel real. My husband used to like to dance with me, but he would stand behind me, reach around, we do this thing, it was really fun. But anyway, so one night, I'm in bed. Now, at this point in my life, I'm really all about the reading glasses, the book, the flannel pajamas. That's my favorite activity in bed anymore at this point, right? So my husband comes to bed. I am in the last chapter of a John Grisham novel. Anybody like John Grisham? Got a few fans, right? Okay, so I'm in the last chapter of a John Grisham novel. My husband comes to bed, crawls in next to me, and he says, "Good night." And I went, "Good night." And then all of a sudden, we're in a king-size bed. So I'm over there and he's over here. And I feel this foot coming over. And I thought, oh, not now. I'm in the last chapter of a John Grisham novel. You don't understand. Now, I'm not saying any of this, but I'm thinking it. But he can't reach me because he's way over there. So he starts sliding over. And here comes that foot again. And the next thing I know, that foot is coming up my leg. And I'm feeling it, and I'm thinking, oh man. So I looked over at him with my book, and he's got that look. Ladies, you know the look, right? You know which one I'm talking about? Right. So I reached over to my bedside where I had that prosthetic, that very real feeling prosthetic, and I picked it up, and I handed it to him. And I said, honey, start without me. You guys are awesome, thank you. So anyway, so we've laughed about that several times, but humor is so important, right? So one of the things on my bucket list was to ride fast in a car. Who's a NASCAR fan? Any NASCAR fans? Or is that a white thing? I don't know. NASCAR fans? Okay. So one time I went to Las Vegas. I was bald as a billiard. It was my second time through chemo. We go to Las Vegas and we see this coupon for a ride along in a NASCAR. And I'm thinking, I could take that off my bucket list. So we go there, I pay my $99 to go on this ride along, and I get there and I put on that flame retardant jumpsuit. Now, what's wrong with that picture? A flame retardant jumpsuit, right? They don't do that at Disneyland. So I'm in my flame retardant jumpsuit, I'm in line waiting for my ride along, and I realize for the first time in my life, NASCARs don't have doors. No, it's a window. And I'm looking at the size of the window, and I'm looking at the size of this, and that math does not compute. And I had this fear, this horror that I was going to get stuck in the window. Now, forget the fact that I'm wearing a flame retardant jumpsuit, because that's in case we crash into a wall and the car flips and catches on fire. I wasn't worried about that because I was protected. But I was worried about getting stuck in the window. So here I'm in line, and I suddenly backed out of line. I thought, I'm not getting stuck in that window. And I backed out of line, and I stood there and I watched all these cars come and go, people getting in and out. And I thought, oh man, I should be doing this, but what if I get stuck? So this one guy gets in, does his laps, tries to get out. It took them 10 minutes to get this man out of the car. 10 minutes. He finally comes out. He's about 240 pounds, weighs he's about 6'5", and it took me 10 minutes to get him out of the window. And when he finally emerged from the window, this woman's voice comes out over the entire loudspeaker, over the entire Las Vegas Raceway, and she yells, "It's a boy!" And I thought, see, that is why I am not doing this. That is why I'm not doing it. And then that man did something miraculous. Everybody's laughing, he stopped, and he took a bow. And then everybody started clapping and cheering, and I thought, yeah, that could be me. So I got back in line, and you know what? 4 times around the Las Vegas International Raceway at 160 miles an hour, and I did not get stuck going in or coming out. So, so life is good. And, I just want to close with one thought. You know that old saying, when life hands you lemons, what do you do with it? Yeah, that's one option. Or you could just stuff them in your bra. That's what I do. Thank you, Anthony.
Give it up for Becky Olson, everybody. All right, well, I know it's getting